Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Shelf Comics. I'm Tommy, joined by Murphy.
Hello.
We're back with this week's top 5 comics for December 18th, 2024. They were next week's top 5 comics, but now it is that week. So here we are with this week's top 5 comics.
Almost done with the year. Almost done with the year, guys.
We have one more Wednesday, and that Wednesday is Christmas.
So maybe? I don't know. We haven't discussed if we're doing what we're doing for that stuff.
We have not I have not looked ahead, so I do not know. So here's what I'm proposing. One, if there are typically Christmas week, if it's Christmas is on a Wednesday, the comics aren't, or just the week of Christmas usually, anyways, is typically a slow week for comics. So one of two things will happen. If there are 5, we'll put together a normal 5. If there are not, we'll do like a top 5 of the year.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Because it is the
Maybe
last Wednesday of the year.
and we can try to. I mean, I'm sure that during that little break we took, there were a couple that we missed.
Yeah.
So maybe we can look through that stuff too.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we do that anyways.
True. We could. Then we'll just do both. We'll do both, or we'll do just the top 5 of the year.
Yeah.
But that's next week's possible top 5 comics. We're talking about this week's top 5 comics, starting with The New Gods, number 1, as our top 5.
An old god has died, and the reverberations of his passing are felt across the universe, setting forth the soldiers of an intergalactic army and awakening the latent powers of the mysterious child on Earth. But this has all been foreseen, prophesied by the source, and fed as enigmatic images to its agent Metron. Now, as Metron brings word of this cosmos shattering prediction to the residents of New Genesis and Apocalypse, both worlds are thrown into chaos and conflict. On Earth, Scott Free and Barda find themselves unaware of this incoming chaos while consumed with their most daunting task yet, parenthood. Ram V and Evan Kagel bring the fourth world to a whole new generation in this epic of cosmic proportions. An old god has died, the new gods are.
I love me some Ram V. I love me some
Love
Scott.
Ram V.
I love me some Barda.
I mean, the thing I was thinking about too when I was looking at this comic is I feel like this is a section of the DC universe that doesn't get much page time anymore, if that makes sense.
That's true.
Like every event that has to
The
do
big
with
events. Yeah.
the big events will bring it up.
Yeah.
But there was a time where the old gods and the new gods were all, everything.
Everywhere. Yeah.
They're huge. So I do feel like it's not the same anymore. And now, spoiler if you haven't read the DC All In special from a couple months ago, Darkseid is dead. So I get the feeling that this is going to have consequences throughout the DC universe, tie into whatever the next event's going to be.
Yeah. But exciting stuff. I don't know. I like Mr. Miracle a lot. So anytime, and I like Barda a lot. So anytime the two of them, it's just a fun ride. But moving on to our number 4 this week.
You're not a big Metron fan, dude?
Can't say I am. Freddy the Fix, number 1, an Image number 1. A twisted horror tale from Garth Ennis and Mike Perkins. Hollywood After Dark, werewolves, vampires, zombies, aliens, boogeymen, predators, and things. They all have their kinks, and they all get in deep shit. They all call Freddy to fix it. The horror-skewed intersection of The Boys and Ray Donovan, the debut offering from Ninth Circle, the creator-owned, creator-driven horror showcase of standalone, bone-chilling tales of terror and mayhem.
Dude, it's a perfect bound though. Image, don't you do it. Don't you start. But no, I mean, Garth Ennis, dude. I'm sure this will be a fun comic.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see vampires and werewolves do freaky things. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Uh, they'll like there will be sex galore. If it's anything like the boys, it's gonna be debaucherous.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure. Sure.
I always down. You know, and then also it's cool. It's another imprint.
Yeah.
You know, so
Ninth Circle.
I mean, horror, man. That's all.
Horror's
That's like
big.
it's taken over the game.
It really is. It really is.
Like, I think we get 3-4 major horror comics a week at this point. It feels like
There's always one. There's always one on the top 5. At least one.
always something new coming out. But knowing Garth Ennis, and I mean, I'm a big fan of Preacher and The Boys. I get the feeling it'll be pretty funny too, like comedic horror. So I'm definitely interested to read this one. Yeah. I might let this get to a trade though.
That's fair. That's fair. But moving on, we got our number 3. Dark Knights of Steel All Winter. Number 6.
Our story snowballs to its epic conclusion as Slade Wilson and his unlikely band of allies and enemies hack and slash their way through the zombie-ridden streets of Gillenheim to bring an end to Magus Victor of House Freeze's icy grip on the realm at long last. But Victor still has tricks up his sleeve, including that one that could bring even the fearsome Deathstroke to his knees. So this is supposed to be the last issue, first off. So if you haven't read it, they actually did 2 stories in each issue.
Nice.
So the front story is Jay Kristoff, and then the back story is Tom Taylor again.
Okay.
So, but this one I've enjoyed a lot. It keeps that same, that same energy that the first series had that like really got us. It keeps all that. The characters are sick. They do even call back to like Bruce Wayne is in this one too from the first series, things like that. But I'm super excited because now it's like I said, Victor Freeze is the one who's created all this, and the reason why is very Victor Freeze-ish, But I've really enjoyed this series, and I'm excited to see if they do more on top.
I hope so. I really enjoy this universe that they're building. It's almost like Injustice, like with Tom Taylor, the Tom Taylor tie-in.
I mean, the first series was great. I mean, it was 12 issues. This one, you only get 6, but you get 2 stories. So the backup tale is about Aquaman. So they're setting up this universe as Aquaman.
That's cool.
So I'd assume that probably if Tom Taylor's going to come back to it, that's what would happen. Is he spent this one setting up Aquaman for Dark Knights of Steel 2 officially. So, but Slade is super cool in this. He's just an old mean Viking, like just being all Deathstroke about it, and yeah, it's really good. So nice. Anybody who sees this, go out and pick up the trade when it's done and read this.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this to be a trade, so I'm excited to read this. But for number 2 this week, we have Spectrograph, number 4. The end is nigh for James Tynion IV and Christian Ward's debut distillery series. Ambrose Everett Hall worked his entire life to cheat death, but what if he actually succeeded? Trapped in the labyrinth tunnels below this tomb-like mansion, with the ghastly remnants of his grisly experiments hot on their trail, Janie and Vesper are about to find out. Don't miss the stunning conclusion to James Tynion IV and Christian Ward's horror opus. Every issue from Distillery is copy and pasted in our perfect bound prestige format.
stop. We don't gotta read
Every
any
time.
more.
Every time.
I was looking through the issues, and I was reading, just kind of paraphrasing, like, oh, stop. Don't gotta read the prestige format. We know. We've talked about it every
It's a
week.
weird shape. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, this series is really good.
Nice.
And when it came out, we had talked about that. Like, it's Tinion's first distillery release.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be good. I like it a lot, though. The character development is very Tinian. Really, it's very good development. It's not quite what I had expected, if like, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
But the story as a whole kind of gripped me in a different way than I thought it would. And then that said, once it was only like when I thought it was only 3 issues, I was like, how the hell are they going to close this up?
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be a 4th issue. So, yeah, I like that they are willing to take some stories and, extend it a little bit. Like, I think Ryan Stegman's comic for Distillery is going to be 4 issues.
Yeah.
The Dark
That's
Seed
pretty
is 4
typical.
issues. So yeah, they're adding more in there. But no, this story is really cool. Definitely worth picking up. Like, I know you're probably waiting for the trades and stuff like that
Yeah.
on this. This one's a really cool one. I think Tiny did a really good job on this.
Nice.
The art, I will say, is a little bit like out there. Like, it's pretty.
I can see from the cover for sure.
Yeah, like, once you get into it, I was like it's very good. It's very colorful.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, oh, I gotta
A little trippy.
like,
A little trippy.
really look at it.
But, well, moving on to our number 1 this week, we have Absolute Batman. Number 3 deserves to be mega. Okay.
New friends, new enemies. Batman and Alfred have formed a tentative alliance, but the Black Mask has some new friends too, and they're coming to Gotham to wreak absolute havoc. Plus, discover this dark secret that will rock Bruce to his core and make him question everything. I see what they did there with that absolute havoc line.
Man,
You ain't sneaky, DC. You ain't sneaky.
I'm so in love with this series. It is so good. It's Snyder and Dragotta. It's
honestly,
everything.
that's something for me is like the Scott Snyder, great. But Dragotta's art, like, I didn't ever think about it.
It works really well.
It works so well for Batman.
It really does.
Like, it just makes me want to reread all his stuff. Yeah,
like the capes in this cover, it like reminds you of East of West and some of the robots and how they were.
Yeah, when he's perched on it, it reminds me of the horses.
Mm-hmm,
it just no, this series, I'm in love with it, and the art, the writing. I mean, you give Scott Snyder the freedom to write whatever he wants, basically.
Yeah, because it's its own. Yeah, it's absolute universe.
Yeah, like, do whatever you want, Scott Snyder, and then Nick Dragotta is like, all right, I'll make the Batmobile 30 stories tall. Like, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, this is such a good series. All of the absolutes are. They're going to probably hit this top 5 a lot. Yeah, probably. I mean, we got what, Absolute Wonder Woman will be next week then, probably.
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, followed by Absolute Superman again. We got Absolute Superman variants and second printing coming out this week too.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's next week.
Yeah, I think then Superman's probably a week or so after that.
The next week, yeah, the first January 1st.
Yeah, they're like, not on Christmas.
Christmas is Wonder Woman.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there we go. But no, I do. I love this. I love this creative duo getting the chance to do Batman, getting the chance to do whatever they want with Batman. Like, I think I hope to see this series for a long time.
Yeah, we know we have at least, what, 24 issues? Because I think they said they
Yeah,
have
they
at
said
least
at
2
least
years.
2 years. Um, but they said, I mean, as long as people are reading it, they'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
So it could go for much longer. That said, I mean, is DC fully prepared to commit to another universe like this? That's
Is
that's
Marvel?
kind of where see Marvel. I think it's different with Marvel because they already did it. They did the Ultimate Universe, and it had such success, and it ran
Yeah.
for such a long time. And then they ended it,
Yeah.
and now they know they can bring it back in whatever form they want.
But
Have they ever done?
DC has
Yeah,
seen Marvel do it, and they're like, oh, then we can do it.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like what happens with these universes is it does split the fandom. 'Cause, like look at the
Sure,
Ultimate.
it makes it two main canons.
Yeah, like look at the Ultimate Universe. There were people I knew who they didn't read a single 616 company. They're like, oh no, I read Ultimate Spider-Man. I don't read Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, oh for sure. And yeah, if it gets big enough, there will be people that just read Absolute.
Yeah.
But
So
also
I don't know.
it's a section of it it's more inviting to new readers because they look at it and they can very clearly see which ones are in their universe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
typically there are less of them than the canon ones. So it's much easier to from a shelf be like, "Oh, this could be connected. This is connected to my universe. This is connected." So it's a visual thing as well, and it also isn't as um confusing because like the 616 Marvel and like how the different books intertwine, and that's a whole thing and very confusing, constantly changing. Where
Yeah.
with the Absolute, it's like, oh, it's Absolute Batman. It's in the Absolute universe. Yeah.
Yeah. It's much simpler. I mean, I will say both. Neither DC or Marvel is very good at connecting everything in a way that is seamless and everyone can understand all the time.
Right.
So
And
having that separate universe is
the creative teams they're putting on these is telling me that they are pushing it or giving it the
yeah,
shot.
you're not wrong. I mean, same with the Ultimate Universe. When you put
Exactly. Yeah.
Hickman,
Yeah.
you put
Exactly.
Hickman right at the start of it. Like, yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I would argue even that Absolute has bigger names.
Almost.
Not
Yeah.
big, not bigger, but like
You put Snyder on
you know,
Batman.
they threw money
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Like Hickman was already doing Marvel stuff,
Yeah.
and he's Hickman. They're like, oh, we need a new universe born. Come on, Jonathan, get it done.
Yeah.
But this
Do what you did
actually
with
is.
the X-Men a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they're like, just come on, dude. Here's a
Yeah.
bunch of money, do it again. And he will. But this, like, I mean, each comic has a solid team on it. That's
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like with the Ultimate Universe, it feels like they're giving some smaller names chances too, which is not bad.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, yeah, Jason Aaron is on Absolute Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Then what is it? Kelly Thompson
Mm-hmm. Oh, Wonder
on
Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's cool to see. I'm wondering. I do just wonder how far DC can get.
Yeah. I can see there being less absolute titles than ultimate titles. I think Marvel will come out with more ultimate books than DC will come out with absolute. I think ultimate the ultimate universe will run longer than absolute, but I think absolute will give a good run.
Dude, what if the Ultimate Universe they're just like, nah, done again. Like you get a year or two, and then they're like, the maker's dead. Bye.
That
Like
the book that came out last week, the year
last
one.
week, 1 year in. Yeah.
I think that was a green flag for this is going to be around for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's introducing. I mean they put such a time frame on it, like 18 months before the Maker comes out, and it's been
Yeah.
3 months, and there's still like 16 months left or something. You know, it's
Yeah.
like they put a time frame on it that makes it long. Um, the one thing I was thinking about with Absolute Batman though is I love all the comments online talking shit on the bat symbol. Like I saw one and a dude messaged Scott Snyder. He was like, "I'm sorry, Absolute Batman. I didn't know you were like that." Like after it sold out for like the fifth time and is like the highest selling comic of 2024. He's like, "My bad. I thought it was shit, and then you proved me wrong." Like
Yep.
dude, when he takes it off the chest as an axe, I was like, "Oh, this is too much.
Yep. Yep.
It's too cool, man. It's
It's
too
awesome.
cool."
It's really cool.
I thought the symbol was goofy as hell too, and then I was
Yeah.
like,
I was like, oh no.
trust the process. Trust the
Trust. Yeah.
process.
Give it due time. But cool.
Now, I do think I'm wondering too. Like, I mean, the Black Mask, and I assume it's just the first arc, and then that's done. I wonder what the next villain we get is going to be. Black Mask is great, but
Yeah. It's a good.
you
It's a
know,
good
starter.
ground setting of Batman
Yeah,
before introducing like a super powered villain.
yeah. It shows the gang. The gang mentality
The
of Gotham.
street level Batman.
Yeah, but I am, dude. I want to see a Joker. I do. I want him to come out.
I
I know
mean,
they
you
I
know
know
it's
they
gonna
tease
happen.
him.
You
I
know
know
it's
they
gonna
tease
happen.
him.
You know it's gonna happen.
I mean, is that going to be arc two? Because they tease him, but
I think it'll be like the climactic one. I want to
yeah,
see. Yeah, there's a lot I want to see. But,
yeah, I can't wait. Dude, honestly, Nick Dragotta doing something like the Riddler.
right?
I feel like he could
That
do
would
some
be cool.
crazy, crazy art for that. Um, I'm not really looking for a Two Face.
No. Well, we
Not
just got
yet.
the Two Face solo book, so
There's just too much. I feel like I've seen a lot of Two Face because also like he was a big part of the last big arc of Detective Comics. He was a big part of multiple things. It's like I'm just kind of him and the Penguin
you're
got a
two
TV
faced out.
show. Thanks, dude. Like like I can give me some other stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me like a Solomon Grundy story.
There you go. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I could see that in
But
Dragoda.
right, that would probably be sweet. But either way, I'm here for it. Whatever they do, I'll buy it.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, anything else before this week's comics or last week's comics and next week's comics or this week's comics?
No, that's it.
Cool. Well, until then, we'll catch you guys later.
See ya.